Have you ever heard of a country in Europe where you can buy a house for 16 cents, a clothing-optional beach, and visit a town so tiny it only has 23 people, yet still holds elections? Welcome to Croatia, a land of mistletoe wine, tank graveyards, medieval cities full of cats, women known for their intelligence and beauty, and the world's luckiest man who survived 7 near-danger experiences and then won the lottery. Ready to explore? It's the summer of 1936. Europe is bracing for war. And yet, on a quiet stretch of Adriatic coastline, a king makes a decision that shocks people. They can wear whatever they want to the beach or nothing at all. That's how Croatia quietly became the first European country to legalize public clothing optional beaches. Today, nestled near the town of Vršac, you'll find Kovar Sada, a sprawling seaside naturist resort that welcomes 5,000 people a day during the summer. Here you'll see Dutch families teaching their kids to swim, Swedish couples playing pissagin, a local sport that looks like volleyball meets ballet, performed waist-deep in water with a tiny ball, and solo women stretched across beach towels reading novels under the Mediterranean sun, fully clothing optional, completely unbothered. All free beaches have clear signs, strict rules, and security staff. Photography without permission and harassment are absolutely not tolerated. Are you brave enough to try it? If so, comment number 7 and we can share with you how to fully experience the atmosphere at these beaches. Just 2 hours from Zagreb, tucked into forested mountains and foggy meadows, you'll find sleepy villages offering homes for 1 kuna. That's about 16 US cents. Lika's government is also offering between $3,500 and $9,000 to help new owners renovate their homes. After World War II, and especially during the Yugoslav conflicts of the 1990s, Lika lost nearly half its population. Young people moved to Zagreb, Berlin, and Vienna. The ones who stayed behind? They're aging, outnumbered, and watching the village lights go dark. So the local government made a choice. Better to give away the homes than watch them rot. Lika is stunning, majestic pine forests, snow-dusted peaks, and air so crisp. But this isn't coastal Croatia. It's remote, cold, quiet. Winters can drag for 6 months. Grocery stores, a long drive. No beach, no nightlife, no Uber Eats. In some places, you'll hear more wolves than people. Literally. Let's talk about something that no relocation video will dare to touch. What are women like? Croatian women carry themselves with an elegance that isn't loud. Long legs, healthy skin kissed by both the sun and Slavic winters, thick dark blonde or chestnut hair, and eyes that often seem like they've seen both empires and heartbreak. The average Croatian woman stands about 5'7", taller than most in Europe, just behind Nordic countries. This is a country where women work, vote, build, and run businesses. Over 60% of Croatian women participate in the workforce. About 32% sit in parliament, higher than the European Union average. These are women raised on a mix of Catholic tradition, Balkan resilience, and Mediterranean openness. They value loyalty. Croatia has one of the lowest divorce rates in Europe, only about 1.5 per 1,000 people. Even expats who've lived here for years admit it takes time to be seen as more than just passing through. If you stay, learn the language, show consistency. The connection runs deep, and it lasts. Are you impressed and want a chance to meet them? If yes, comment the number 9 and we'll reveal how you can connect with them. A tiny medieval town nestled in Croatia's Istrian hills is barely 350 feet long and 100 feet wide. Population only 23. Yet somehow it has a mayor, a city gate, and its own annual brandy festival. Not bad for what the Guinness Book of World Records calls the smallest town in the world. Here's how small-town democracy works in Him. Each voter carves the candidate's name onto a wooden plaque. No booths, no machines, no campaign slogans. Just wood, tradition, and neighbors choosing who they trust. Here, there's a tiny stone square, a small chapel, maybe a dog lying in the sun like he owns the block. And you? You'll probably be the only outsider here that day. Hum's one export? A drink called biska, a brandy distilled with mistletoe, once used as a kind of village medicine. Every fall, Hum hosts the Biska Brandy Festival, a quiet but soulful gathering where villagers and visitors sample homebrewed bottles and swap stories. Drive about 3 hours east of Zagreb, near the Serbian border, and you'll come to Vukovar, a name that still echoes across Croatia like a scar that never fully healed. On the outskirts, hidden in a field thick with grass and silence, lies something surreal. Just rusted steel giants sinking into the earth, as if being swallowed by memory itself. Weeds grow through the metal seams, and vines wrap around the barrels like tight embraces of the past. In 1991, as Yugoslavia broke apart, Vukovar became a symbol of both resistance and devastation. The city was under siege for 87 days. Tanks rolled in, homes collapsed, ethnic tensions, simmering for decades, boiled over into war. Today, the remnants of that era sit in silence. Tanks, armored vehicles, self-propelled guns, abandoned like ghosts of a war most of the world has already forgotten. Let's leave behind these sorrowful scenes and explore a beautiful island of love together. But first, take 5 seconds to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of our new content. Galešnjak, a tiny, untouched island off the coast of Zadar, Croatia. Perfectly shaped like a heart. Just a small patch of land in the Adriatic Sea visible from Google Earth, so symmetrical it went viral in 2009. Galešnjak is only about 32 acres, no bigger than a neighborhood park. There are no roads, no buildings, no residents, but that hasn't stopped it from becoming a destination for proposals, honeymoons, and private escapes. Couples from around the world, Japan, France, Brazil, have chartered boats just to spend an hour or two on its shores. To say I do in the middle of the sea, to write their names in the sand. It's not easy to get to, but maybe that's what makes it work. There's no dock, no bathroom. If you want to visit Galešnjak, you need to charter a private boat from Zadar or the nearby island of Pashman. You bring your own water, your own food. There's no Wi-Fi, no shade canopy, no resort package. Just you, the sound of the waves, and someone you really want to be together with. It's romantic, but it's also raw, quiet. So, let's cut through the wanderlust and get real. What does life in Croatia actually cost? Someone living in Zagreb can get by on about $1,200 to $1,500 US per month. In Zagreb, a one-bedroom apartment in the city center goes for around $700 to $900 per month. In suburbs or nearby towns like Samobor or Velika Gorica, drop that to $500 to $600. In Split, Zadar, or Rijeka, where you can see the sea from your balcony, you're looking at $600 to $800. Croatia's healthcare system? One of the best-kept secrets in Europe. High quality, modern. Surprisingly affordable. Private insurance around $50 per month for most expats. Doctor's visit $30 to $50. Medication usually covered, but even out of pocket, it won't gut you. And if you stay long-term and get residency, you can opt into the public system, which provides comprehensive care at a fraction of U.S. prices. Forget Uber surcharges and $80 fill-ups. Buses and trams run like clockwork in the cities. A monthly pass in Zagreb costs about $50. Ferries connect islands. Trains connect towns. And you can walk a lot. Fresh bread for less than $1. Local wine for under $5. Groceries around $250 to $300 per month. Dinner is $40 to $50, including wine. Espresso is about $1 to $2. If you're American and working remotely, Croatia's digital nomad visa might be your golden ticket. It allows you to stay for up to 1 year. Minimum income requirement, around $2,700 per month. No local income tax. No double taxation. You need proof of health insurance, a background check, and accommodation. The application isn't lightning fast, but it's doable and growing in popularity. Are you planning to visit or settle in this country? If yes, comment number 1 or share your thoughts with us in the comment below. Croatia doesn't shout about its food, but maybe that's what makes it one of Europe's best-kept culinary secrets. A meal for two with local wine is only $40 to $50. We're talking linen napkins, candlelit terraces, and local wine that doesn't have a label but tastes like it came from someone's basement in the best way. Peka, a cast-iron bell, covers lamb, veal, or octopus slow-cooked under hot coals for hours. Pastakada, a rich beef stew marinated in vinegar and prunes, slow-braised in Dalmatian red wine. Truffle pasta, especially in Istria, where wild truffles are foraged, not farmed. Burek and Srnica, flaky cheese or meat-stuffed pastries, perfect for breakfast or post-hike hunger. And then there's coffee, which deserves its own religion here. An espresso costs about $1 to $2, but you'll stay 1 to 2 hours. Croatians will cancel meetings or delay errands to finish their coffee. Lunch isn't just a break, especially on weekends when it stretches into wine, stories, and laughter. Tipping is not mandatory and waiters are paid fair wages, but still, 10% is appreciated. Locals often round up the bill. Croatian cuisine is a crossroads of Europe. You taste the Italian coast, the Turkish spice, the Austrian comfort, and the Hungarian heat, all blended through a Croatian lens. Croatia has over 500 festivals in 365 days. If you're into music, heat, and crowds, head to Ultra Europe in Split. For 1 week every July, Croatia's old Roman walls shake with the bass lines of the world's biggest DJs. Over 150,000 people from more than 140 countries show up, turning the Adriatic coast into a human wave of lights, sweat, and sound. Not a party guy? In Dubrovnik, the summer festival brings classical music, Shakespearean theater, and ballet into ancient fortresses and stone courtyards. A string quartet plays Vivaldi in the open air. Above you, stars. Around you, medieval walls that have stood through empires and wars. The acoustics? Not engineered, just perfect by design and time. You want something weird? Try Đakovo's Pikokijata Festival. It's in a small town most tourists have never heard of, but once a year it lights up like a Slavic fever dream. Costumed villagers reenact a 16th century siege where locals tricked Ottoman invaders with a cannon-loaded rooster. There are flaming torches, horseback warriors, folk dancing, open-fire cooking, and a parade of traditional costumes that haven't changed in 300 years. Sure, you'll find the biggest festivals in Split, Zagreb, and Dubrovnik, but the magic is in the villages. Spring torch walks on Var Island, wine-stomping festivals in Istria, autumn harvest parades in Baranja, winter Christmas markets in Zagreb, voted Europe's best 3 years in a row. Frane Selak, a Croatian music teacher whose life reads like it was ghostwritten by the universe. This is the man who survived a train crash in which 17 people passed away, was thrown from a plane mid-air after a door malfunctioned and landed in a haystack, walked away from a bus plunging into a river, escaped 2 burning cars in separate accidents, swerved off a mountain road and somehow clung to a tree branch as his car exploded in flames below. And then he won the lottery. Over $1 million just 2 days after his 74th birthday. Selak didn't use his winnings to buy yachts or launch a brand. He gave most of the money away, bought a small house, and lived out his life in peace. When asked about his luck, he simply said, "You can't control what happens to you, but you can decide what to believe about it." You can't talk about Croatia without talking about football. Croatia reaching the 2018 World Cup final and taking 3rd place in 2022. This is a country with just 3.8 million people, smaller than the city of Los Angeles. And yet, they stood toe-to-toe with giants. In 2018, they made it to the final. In 2022, they took 3rd. They did it with grit, with heart, with a fire that felt personal. And when the national team steps onto the pitch in that red and white checkerboard kit, they carry more than a ball. They carry a whole nation's pride. After Mario Mandžukić's goal against England in 2018, Zagreb's Ban Jelačić Square erupted. Over 120,000 people flooded the streets, hugging strangers, singing at full volume, waving Croatian flags the size of buses. 1.5 million people, nearly 40% of the entire country, watched that match live. When the team returned home, the streets turned into rivers of red and white. The bus carrying the players moved just a few kilometers in over 8 hours, crawling through seas of people holding signs, flowers, kids on shoulders, even dogs in Croatian jerseys. Croatia was named one of the top 12 retirement havens in the world by Forbes, and it's not hard to see why. Over 1,200 islands to explore, 8 national parks that look like postcards, stone towns with Roman, Gothic, and Baroque roots, still standing, still alive. Crime rate? Lower than the United States. Healthcare? Better than you'd expect, and affordable. Croatia gives you time to cook, to walk, to watch the sea change color. In Zagreb, you can live comfortably on $1,200 to $1,500 per month. In smaller coastal towns like Zadar or Pula, closer to $900 to $1,100. Private health insurance? $50 to $100 per month, depending on your age and coverage. Medical care is solid, especially in larger cities like Zagreb, Rijeka, and Split. United States citizens can stay 90 days without a visa. For longer stays, you'll need temporary residency, which requires proof of income, retirement, or private funds, health insurance, a lease or property ownership, background check, and eventually basic Croatian language skills. And paperwork is slow. Expect to wait, expect forms, expect confusion, but also expect progress if you're patient and respectful. In Zagreb, tucked between stone streets and bookshops, there's a small museum where almost everyone cries. It's called the Museum of Broken Relationships. Opened in 2010, the museum now holds over 200 artifacts, not from kings or conquerors, but from regular people all over the world. Each item comes with a story. Some are short, some are full letters. A wedding dress never worn. A bottle of cologne from a summer fling in Rome. A toaster. Yes, a toaster sent by a woman whose ex-boyfriend always made breakfast until he didn't. A teddy bear, half burned. It started with 2 Croatian artists who broke up. Instead of dividing furniture, they decided to do something different. They turned their pain into art. And now, people from over 100 countries have donated items, from Tokyo to Toronto, from Cape Town to California. Located in Uppertown, Zagreb. You can walk there easily from the city center. Entry fee? About $7 US. Expect to spend an hour or more. It's small but emotional. There's also a donation room where you can submit your own item or story. And if you can't visit in person, they have a traveling version that's been to over 50 cities worldwide. Dubrovnik, the jewel of the Adriatic. A city of stone walls, red rooftops, and centuries-old fortresses made world famous as King's Landing in Game of Thrones. Step inside the old town and you'll see cats everywhere. There's no official record, no one person to credit. But over the decades, especially after the war in the 1990s, stray cats began to gather in the walled city. Locals, many rebuilding from ruins, fed them, sheltered them. Eventually, the cats became part of the city's DNA. Don't be surprised to see water bowls tucked into alleyways, blankets beneath old shutters, a tourist stooping to pour kibble from a pouch they've been carrying all day. And if you're lucky, you might see one of the cat houses, mini wooden shelters built by locals and decorated with flowers or hand-painted signs. They even have their own Instagram accounts. The handle at Dubrovnik Cats has tens of thousands of followers, each post featuring a different feline face, complete with names, nicknames, favorite sunbathing spots, and entire micro-stories. Some of these cats are more famous than travel bloggers. Look at a map. Croatia curves like a sideways smile. It borders 5 countries: Slovenia, Hungary, Serbia, Bosnia, and Herzegovina, and Montenegro. And yet, its soul points south, straight to the Adriatic Sea. At just 56,000 square kilometers, around the size of West Virginia, it somehow packs in alpine mountains, fertile lowland plains, a 1,100-mile-long coastline with more than 1,200 islands, ancient cities carved in limestone, national parks that look like fantasy novels come to life. You can go skiing in the morning on Mount Platak and swim in the sea at sunset near Rijeka, just an hour away. Few countries in Europe offer 2 seasons in one day. Croatia does. The coast offers a Mediterranean climate, hot, dry summers and mild winters. The inland and mountain regions, snow, fog, and crisp autumns. Perfect if you're chasing both sun and sweater weather. The Croatian identity is a complex weave. It carries Slavic roots but has deep Roman, Venetian, and Austro-Hungarian threads. Croatian, which shares structure with Serbian and Bosnian, but insists on its own voice. It's Catholic, fiercely proud and deeply shaped by history, especially the Yugoslav era and the war that followed. And it has a diaspora of nearly 4 million Croats living abroad, from Chicago to Sydney, many still calling home every week. We've explored 15 amazing facts about this incredible country. If you enjoyed the video about Croatia, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Your support is the driving force that helps us continuously improve and bring you even more engaging content. Thank you and see you in our next travel documentary. We are so glad you are with us today. Please leave a comment, like the video to support us, and subscribe for more videos. See you soon.